Question. In Bancroft, they say Anishinaabe. Here we say Anishinaabe. Which is it?
Okay, we're live.
Anishinaabe, I think.
I'm just gonna share the agenda.
That's what we say.
Okay. Call this meeting to order at 8:07. And respectfully acknowledge that the township of Cavan is located on the Treaty 20 Michi-Sagi territory in the traditional territory of the Michi-Sagi Anishinaabe. We offer our gratitude to First Nations for their care for and teachings about these lands. May we honor these teachers. Approval of the agenda. I would like to add to so this would be item 9.1.5 and consideration of refunds of vendors. We have 3 requests of vendor refunds all fest. That one amendment. May I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
Yeah.
Jack, second, Ryan. All in favor? Does anyone have a pecuniary interest today? We have no closed session. We have no delegations. Minutes of the September 19th meeting. I would just like to make one small amendment. Executive committee appears in the minutes. We'd like that to read Board of Management. We are the Board of Management. We're not the executive committee.
It's
Minutes from
within the body.
It's in the minutes.
Within the minutes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so at the top it says BIA Board of Management. And elsewhere within the minutes, it says Executive Committee. But we are not the Executive Committee. The Executive Committee would be myself, Sarah, and Zach. Other than that, to that or not, but I think we have a misspelling of his surname, Thibodeau. At the top, it's correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
If it doesn't matter, it doesn't bother me, but
okay. Okay.
What is the proper spelling?
As appears,
the first page.
Just let him spell it,
Yeah,
please.
THIBAUDEAU.
Great.
Like by Val.
And is it CH, Zach, or is it?
I spell it with a K.
You do, okay. Thanks.
is with a K.
Zachary is with an H.
It
is? Switch it.
Or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty big at hard. Yeah, exactly.
Any amendments to the minutes? I call for motion to approve. Hey, Ryan, seconds, back. And all in favor? And it yourself through. Business arising from the minutes. I think we have anything there. And then moving on to the treasury report. It's in front of you on screen. Any questions?
Are these the ones we're already? Oh, these are discounted.
Right
okay, so-
now, we're just looking at the treasury report that says like none under 9.1.1.
Mhm.
And I think on the next page, there's one item. It says what our balance is at the end of the month. Whoops, I did the top there, as of September 30th, that's our balance. Okay, and then we'll move on to check requisitions. All of those have been submitted to finance. Does anyone have any questions there? Good. I think at this point, we need a motion to accept the treasury report and pay check requisitions.
Motion?
Ryan, a second, Emmy? All in favor? Okay, 1.1.3, filming revenue update. So, early October, we received $2,000 into our bank account. Paul Pines, the first session, which I can't even remember when that was. We've had a second and third session now. I'm just wondering if Bridget, you can tell us what the invoice will be for the second and third sessions.
I think they were only a day each, so they were, and actually the 2,000, I believe, is for the second for August. July was 1,000, and I believe October is 1,000 as well.
So
Just one
what
day.
we just received was for the second session? We've
Yeah,
had
I
three now.
believe so. Actually, I think it's 2,000 for the,
I think it was
second one.
2,000 for the third.
no, it's 1,000 for the first, I believe, and I think it was 2,000 for the
So I'm
second.
not.
I'll double check, Kathy.
Okay,
I'm not
very
exactly
good.
sure.
If that was the second that we just received, I'm not aware of having received first.
You haven't,
Okay,
because we haven't received ours. So July you haven't received, which I spoke to them about. You
okay.
received August,
Okay.
and you wouldn't have received October yet.
And the community air commercial one. To issue a check right now, assuming that we'll receive funds down the road. Or is it the intention to make this just waive the fee? Our
So
concern
you've,
is,
you've already made that decision and
Yeah.
I've already invoiced.
okay. In that case, I would like to have someone motion to issue the check.
Um,
Well, I think
Or
you
can we-
probably,
can
yeah,
we
you'd
go
have
ahead
to,
and do it then, and I can.
it's not on your agenda. What I would suggest is that
Yeah.
you put it on the agenda for your November meeting and
As
if
a
you
check.
then. Correct.
And then what do we have in to get the check issued to finance?
A check requisition, you would process it like you would any other payment. So you would do a check requisition.
Okay.
So I would just do it as your November, as part of your November package.
check her.
Okay, so there's a form that,
Community care for the donation.
Oh, okay.
yeah, so,
Okay, gotcha.
so there's a form that has to be filled out by Zach. We've reviewed, Zach and I, there's two different forms. There's one that's for expenses and the other one is a check requisition form. I forget what it's called at the top. So you would fill out one of those. Okay, because we already did that.
Bobby, should have emailed me those, because I don't have.
Actually, the forms that we have are from 2003. So I think there's updated forms that would be available from finance.
I'll email.
Yeah, maybe we can go visit them. Right after. And I think there might be checks they picked up, I'm not sure. Okay,
And I think you'll just need to include it as your check rec in your November agenda.
yes.
Yeah.
I've got a note here, so I'll.
Okay, great,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay. Budget 2025. I'm gonna let Zach present that.
So just through you, Chair, before you do that,
Yeah.
you will need to make a motion to receive the additional budget document because it wasn't part of the original agenda package. So we'll need to receive it and then you can carry on.
Okay,
Okay?
and perhaps we're also receiving the filming revenue update.
Yep, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Move to receive.
I'll second.
Okay, so is this for your filming revenue or is this for your to
Oh.
receive the document?
One.
Just gonna.
It's like we have a small committee. Nobody else is on camera.
Great. Here we go. I don't know why it's-
So,
Does that
well,
take
most of us have seen this, with the exception of Bridget and Timmy, but the big thing on this is going to be the proposed levy increase of 12%, so from 16 to 18,000 for 2025 over 2024. As far as the rest of the budget goes, we used last year's budget, what our actuals were for this year to come up with that. And adding in a little bit of inflation on a couple of items. But for the most part, it's gonna look very much similar. One big difference is gonna be on the left-hand side there, the marketing promo. So all the advertising expenses have been put into that column. As opposed to the actual events themselves. You'll see that on the right-hand side. So those are the big changes over last year. Revenue, operating revenue is below expenses by about 14,000. So you'll see that on the from reserve funds on the left-hand side there.
You total the total revenue.
Geez, I can put that up. This was like at 10 o'clock at night today. So anyways, at the bottom, if you scroll down, Bridget, on the right-hand side, there's a breakdown of everything. As far as total revenue, total expenses, and then our expenses over revenue that'll have to come from the reserve funds. Any questions or anything like that?
I'm going to point out that both the marketing committee and the decorating committee submitted their budgets for 2025, which are incorporated here.
Break down the marketing one more if you want.
I don't, unless somebody wishes to have it broken down.
Was it more than what was submitted? Cause I think it was.
So exactly what he's got in
Yeah,
there.
it should be exactly. No, sorry, bad choice of words.
Was it more detailed than what was it still like?
Well, this is
There's
what they
the
sent.
four thing.
Yeah, it was the Kathy before,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
the doorway
you've seen that.
advertising, yeah.
Because the big line item that one was just advertising, right? So was there more detail behind the advertising?
No.
So some help, Bridget. Our motion is to approve, or do we need a motion to approve and submit to finance
Well,
or
this,
to council?
sorry, I don't think you're approving,
Or do we,
you're receiving a draft budget to
Mhm.
submit to. finance.
we're just, yeah, that's what I'm asking. What
Yeah,
is-
and is this what you're gonna take to your membership?
This is what we're going to take to the membership.
Yep.
And this is what we are going to submit to council for the November, I think it's 21st meeting. And we've been asked to appoint someone from the board to speak to council. Yes, and we are designating our council rep, who's also on our board.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, so-
designating, so I think that has to be incorporated into the motion. Because we have been, Zach and I have been specifically asked to submit the budget for the November, correct me if I'm wrong, is it November 21st? Yeah,
No, I will, once we're done here, I'll submit all this to Kim
okay,
ahead of time, after this promise.
very good.
so you can make a motion to receive the budget as presented and submit to finance as part of the 2025 budget.
And designate
And designate to speak to it at council.
to speak to the budget.
And so I motion to receive a draft budget, present to council, and designate Ryan to do that. Although I'll make that more professional. I will second.
Maybe more professional.
And all in favor? Okay, now you'll take us to
I'm going back to the agenda.
our 2025 contract with KC Multi Solutions. So incorporated into our budget is what we did last year with KS Solutions. It's approximately $12,000,
Pardon.
$1,200 for 1 year of storage on their property of our shed and contents. Unless somebody has another solution for storage of our zigzag trees and chairs and tables and fencing. I think this is, we go forward with this. And we will owe them as of January 1. So I think we probably will put a check rec in for our December meeting. So
Did they send you an invoice? Or have they sent you an invoice?
yes, they actually, so our invoicing was running from October to October.
Mhm.
And so we settled with them to get us to the end of the year, this year, and so that
It starts clean and
Yeah.
it's easier.
Yeah, I would just like you'd submit the invoice when it comes in. Rather than trying to do a check write. Right, just submit the invoice. Just suggestion, but
Yeah, but it's considered to be a contract and this is contracted services and I just,
so you code it, you just
Yeah.
code it to contracted services and you submit it for payment.
So you can submit.
Yeah. You just have to code it.
okay, so we're feeling we don't actually need to accept the contract.
No, you need a motion to accept the contract. It's just you don't need a check rec. In terms to pay you just pay the
Yeah.
invoice when it comes in.
Is it a different contract?
Well, we need a check rec on our agenda. in December.
Only if you have the invoice.
You don't have the invoice.
I'm good, like, I'm completely confused on this one.
I think your motion is just to accept the contract.
But if we're not going to accept the contract or the invoice, we would have to move our stuff off the property before the end of the year.
Is this a new contract? Like,
Yes,
2025.
yes, yes.
Renewal.
Yeah,
so it's just an annual renewal?
yeah, so we changed our renewal date in order to make it cleaner, so we were billed in October. And rather than pay from October to October, we asked, can we just be billed to the end of the year and we'll start a new contract?
So did you get an invoice for the bill to the end?
I
of the year?
have a new contract, which you could call an invoice, which,
Well, contracts and invoices are very different. Like, do we have did these invoices from now to the end of the year? Like, is that what we're trying to pay here, or are we trying to pay next year here?
accepting that we're going to enter into a contract for next year, for which I do have a proposal.
Mhm.
And it's approximately $1,200. And we can make that into an invoice. You can call it an invoice of,
They must be.
Mhm.
Oh,
yeah. So they invoiced us for 4 months, I believe it was.
Huh?
We paid it.
Okay, so the invoice.
Okay, and I submitted that. Yeah, we paid it. That's done. So now we're talking about 2025. And at this point, it's a proposal.
So they haven't invoiced you for 2025 yet. You're just approving the contract.
Right.
Just want to say, yes, we're going to keep the stuff there and pay
Yeah.
them.
Sure.
Okay.
Give me a second.
I mean, sure, whatever. Yeah.
And then the new item, which is the request for refund. So we had 2 food vendors. Ken Fines, the finance, who applied and paid their vendor fees. In the case of Clements, it was a double fee, so it was 2 vendor fees. And then later on, my understanding is that due to a misunderstanding about whether they complied with buyer regulations or not, they were unable to attend. So they have each asked for a refund. In the case of Ken Fines, I would like to refund him his either $60 or $65, depending on whether we want to refund the Eventbrite fee as well, which is, we would be out of pocket for, because Eventbrite takes that fee. There's no way to get that back. In the case of Clements, what I would like to do is offer them free booths at Christmas in the Village. In other words, it's like 4th line theater policy. You can't come tonight, we send you another night.
That's not my theater policy.
No?
No.
Okay.
But that-
What if Ken wants to do Christmas then?
They attended Christmas in the Village last year. And all they have to do is satisfy our fire department, which I don't think is a problem for them. it might be for Ken Fines. He's already said he's not.
Ken doesn't fall in the same category as a hot dog cart. He doesn't fall into the same category as vendors. He's in a different category. I've talked to Bill about this already.
So Luca met with him and Luca made very clear what he needed from him, so. Whether he, I think there was a standard he didn't quite meet, so Luca was trying to work with him on it.
Also, this is all new then, because I was told that hot dog carts fall under like the health department.
Well, the health department is involved,
Yeah,
definitely, but the fire, because there's gas, right?
Yeah.
Open flame.
So we're just, so sorry Kathy, so we're offering them spots, and if they choose not to take it, that's the end of the matter, they lose their refund. Like Colin may not wanna come to Christmas in the village after this, right?
could be. So, but I would like to think that they can come to Christmas in the village. I know Ken will not, but Clements was approved last year at Christmas in the village. And they're set up for it. And I know that the Christmas in the Village event coordinators, Michelle and Chloe Wood, are expecting food trucks, need and want food trucks.
I think they're gonna reach out to specific ones, though, I think was my understanding from the meeting yesterday.
So I haven't discussed this with Clements.
So I think the long and short is that if there's a food vendor, they just need to be mindful of what the standards are for the fire department, which Luca has distributed. If they have any questions, they can reach out to Luca directly and he can walk them through it.
And is that set out in the Eventbrite when they're signing up that these are the criteria you have to meet?
There is for tents and for like grease laden vapors, I believe is in there.
Like, just my thought process is we've gone through this refund thing before, and I thought we decided we weren't going to be refunding people going forward.
I don't know,
But if
that's
this
your
is,
policy.
if this is our error,
Sorry.
then, we eat that, but
I think we should eat it on
Yeah.
this one. I'm just unclear about it. We can offer them that, but if they say no, what's our?
Then we refund.
Just to refund them and negotiate Christmas in Village with them, right?
Okay. Would you like to make a motion?
Or
And is it $60
at $60.
per or 65?
60.
Okay.
Seconder.
I have one other request, but we'll just deal with those two for now.
Okay.
Because it's a different scenario. So the third one was a request that Sarah received.
I didn't receive it, Eventbrite received it,
Eventbrite received it
right?
and you received it through Eventbrite.
Yeah, I'm on the Eventbrite list.
Okay. It didn't come to my attention until it came to your attention, which was very recently.
Yes.
3 days ago.
Yes.
So the request did not come in within 1 week of the event. And I think,
I don't know that that's true, Kathy.
no,
What I can say is I noticed it this week,
okay,
but it looked to me like the complaint had been made earlier from the notes attached to it.
okay. So the vendor in question is from Toronto. The name of the business is T.O. Knotted. And that this I found from review of the Eventbrite list that you sent me, Bridget. And I'm not aware of the vendor. But it says on their application that they sell handmade jewelry. And the complaint was that they were not notified well enough in advance of their spot on the street. Or
They said that it wasn't confirmed, they weren't confirmed. I don't know what that means, because I think Eventbrite sends out a, you've been confirmed, but
But they didn't show up as well.
not show up.
So does Eventbrite send out? 'cause
Well, since
we
you've been-
Send them information.
We've gotten your ticket, right? I don't know what, I don't know if any information, but
Well, I think because Lance gets the vendor list, but
yes, so they,
yeah,
yes.
when we're there.
yeah, I believe so. I'd have to look at it. I can't remember. It was a couple weeks ago. So,
know.
so not to me.
If they
Where-
were on the list, then I would say, no, we don't,
So
because they were.
the only, the person that did these questions
Yeah.
and I don't know, we call it complaint, but Stacy through Facebook announcements, was getting comments. I'm a vendor, when do I come? And she didn't have an answer. Eventually she said, I'll be notified. And Lance notified everyone on the list.
She let me know and I let them know the following day. They knew more than a week in advance that they were confirmed. And that the section where it was there was an area that was going to. Finding all the non-food vendors in the like area that we had. So. If I may offer my opinion though, I don't think it's such a beautiful precedent that if people paid for something and they didn't show up for that, you're not returning money. I don't think you guys want to. Like, you're, if you're talking $60, you guys are $62,000 in your fund. I think your reputation is better served to make sure that, these people don't badmouth the organization, the BIA, or anything else. This is, the event was such a good event that, if they made the error, or you can blame it on me, I'll take full responsibility, and they can be mad at me. Otherwise, they were notified as to what was provided by Bridget.
Well, our policy has been not to refund.
That's
If
my
you don't show
opinion.
up, you don't show up.
But we
Because we
should-
could get 10 people that decide, hey, it's not a very nice day out there, I'm not gonna go, and then we I don't agree
No,
with that.
no, but that's not the basis of the complaint.
They've just said the basis of the complaint is likely not correct. They were notified, they were contacted,
But I
they
think-
just didn't show.
I think we need to find out for sure. If they were notified,
Be
that's
better
one
to
thing.
know.
Yeah, I don't think we can answer this right now without knowing whether they were notified or.
And
But does it make a difference? I mean,
If we miss them on the list and.
if we missed them for sure, if it's
Yeah.
our fault, yes.
But if they were notified, then I don't think they should get a refund. That's just my opinion.
It's the fourth line theater policy if I don't show up for my show.
well, the
We'll talk about that off camera.
they could be offered a booth at Christmas and which
That's the same as giving them money.
I think we should find out,
Yeah,
For
we should find
certain.
out for sure and talk about it after.
decide, put it over to the
Our next meeting's like 2 weeks.
Bridget, you can just look at and confirm the final list that you sent me.
yeah,
I'm using the exact, whatever you sent me.
Yep.
I'm just copy and pasting the accident talks.
Yeah. Did you verify that they were actually registered as a vendor?
they're on the list,
Okay.
yes. And
Cause you would have the same list Lance would have.
Yes.
Cause I circulated to both of you, so
Yes, and I think there was,
Lance would
if
have,
we, do you still have access to the list even though it's off of?
I believe so,
Because
yeah.
I think there was one further that came after the last submission that I received from you didn't include one vendor that I know is on there since.
Mm.
Not a problem with that particular vendor. This one signed up early. And
Well, let's just
yeah,
get more information, I
okay.
think is what it comes down to.
So Lance and Bridget and I will attend to that then.
One other thing, I know I was gonna talk with Bridget about this for events for next year. I wanted to work with, I'm happy to sit in the same capacity if it helps the BIA kind of thing to do the vendor registration or the whatever. We could set up a doc and it could be a rewritable PDF that has like cells and a map of the downtown. And then as soon as vendors are confirmed through Eventbrite, we can pull a cell out and that's where they go in. And then we can start to propagate it as the sales of the vending goes. And then you can manage like, hey, I have a cap, let's say 40 vendors. We only want 2 jewelry people, whatever, once. And so then you'll have a copy and access to it. I will, the rest of you guys, if you want to, we can do a Google Doc or whatever. And then you can kind of have it as a, like, it's organically growing as vendors are added to it. And then this will kind of remove any
That's,
people falling through the cracks. This is a bigger project, but this will be something for next year's events. So
thank you. That's what we need.
So
And
excellent.
that's what they are demanding. I don't know this particular vendor, but I've had that from others saying, well, why don't we have, it's like, when you get tickets at a theater, we want to know where our seats are.
and you can incentivize people whoever pays early,
Yeah.
it's the first choice of where they want their locale. This will be the area.
The only reason that would make any more sense would be if you charge different prices for the booths. If you had premium booths and things like.
If you guys,
Otherwise, it's
if you guys want to
booth, right?
determine that there's a better like location. I know I don't want to be beside the porta potties.
But they are demanding specific spots. I've had those requests. Can I be blah, 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 blah? And my answer is, I don't know.
It should be.
And then they get frustrated and say, well, if you can't tell me where I'm going, then I'm not coming.
Doesn't just line seats. Like they're using 4 lines.
Settled it.
Yeah,
You plan 40, but you get 20, then you have a different street layout.
and for each event, it's kind of a little different in the layout.
A lot of dynamics. You're right, right,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Unless you had.
The all King Street and that block laid out and 164 cells. And 4 cells become into a booth. So we could either divide it into 2 cells and have 40 vendors or 4 cells and have 20 vendors.
I understand the dynamic. Work, my comment is more of, we had the stage at one end this year. I think there were, the possibility to maybe move it to the other end or take the bouncy castles, them somewhere else. So the whole thing is dynamic, not just where the booth spaces are.
Yeah.
All right.
All of the stage and anything that's not vendor related can be
Mhm.
transferred around. So really, it's just a matter of you guys decide how you want it to look or where, like say that it's gonna incorporate a beer garden coming out of the Mason parking lot or something, or tying in with the back of the Legion kind of thing. So it has adaptability. It's really just what you guys decide on. It's just vendors.
Run it through and see what it looks like.
I was talking about next year.
Okay.
It's first, I know, trying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something for next year.
Give it a try.
And thank you.
Easier down the road than
Yeah.
working doc that, all of you guys can kind of do that. Like, okay, this is done. You know, and then you could just quickly go contact any one of you guys and it's like, oh, you. Jewelry makers, yeah, we have four and, you know, we can have a note saying no more of this type of vendor taken, candle makers or.
I can't wait till we get to that stage.
The things I've been hearing is that at other events, that's exactly what they're expecting and,
Sure, if you're big on board, you have 400 vendors, it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
anyway, it's worth a try. And it would, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, that. I think we don't need any further motion under the item that's not actually on the agenda there, but which was 9.1.5. And we're moving on to.
So we've agreed, sorry, Kathy.
Yeah.
We've agreed to refund, Ken and Colin,
Mhm.
and we're not refunding the other one until more information is provided.
So there's no motion
Okay.
required for that. It's just a notation that we're going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time ever.
General business, decorating committee update.
Sure, so obviously they got the fall stuff in October, right after the film. They're planning to switch that over to winter stuff for November. So that's good. And it kind of questions fall, like for a month. Like that seems to be, I don't know whether they want to switch that one around a little bit, if they're gonna do the winter so early.
Yeah, to do the fall in like September.
Yeah, or don't do December until, or don't do winter until December.
Did they do anything for Remembrance Day with the planters?
They have some before that they can put in
Because
after Remembrance
that-
Day. I don't think they do Remembrance Day. before.
Okay,
So they switch up to the greenery without bling. Prior to Remembrance Day, and they put the poppies in the in front of the Legion into that planter, and then later they add it in after Remembrance Day. That's been their reasoning.
That's where they were at with that. They were commenting on the hanging baskets. That you know, every few that they were drying out. Not doing so well.
I think the parks have made a notation about that, because I did hear them talking about it, that
Yeah.
they were kind
struggled a
of,
little.
they struggled, yeah.
Could
Yeah,
have been the year. could have been
I think
the
so.
dirt, could have been.
who knows, yeah, yeah. I think they were gonna talk to the vendor about it, yeah.
It's
Yeah. Whether or not they watered them too much, that was one of the things they,
Yes.
yeah,
on top of it.
on top of the rain, yeah.
That
Yep.
was good, part of the decorating.
okay. On marketing committee, we had a meeting a while back. And then we made our whole budget and whatnot. So our big focus for our next meeting will be to get the door hangers done, but we do need to get the dates for all next year's events for those door hangers, because we'd like to get them done and distributed by year end is the goal. And it didn't make sense to do one in the middle of the year. So once we get all our dates for next year's events, we can get that done. And I think part of what we would also like to do is getting that checklist for events. We have a solid checklist of things to do. Yes, if that binder appears, that'd be great. And getting some planning teams together so that we have set teams that are going to do each event next year. Many hands make light work, and, you know, getting some community involvement. so that it's not the same group of people trying to pull something together at the last minute we have been doing.
So on that
That's
note,
about it.
too, I don't want to interrupt you, but I think in the next meeting, maybe we do put in like kind of where we want these events, like in terms of the date for them for next year. And at the same time, put a start date for when the committee's got to get working on them.
Yeah.
So we have the 2 dates, right? So it's not like it's, yeah, we know it's on the horizon, but we also have a start date on when we get the people together to start planning the event.
Question for you, Timmy. If you need to know the date for next year, to do the door hangers, are you proposing that we set the dates before our year end this year?
That would be great.
And the sooner you can set those dates, the better.
So there's a note here, where was that I saw? Oh, that was the checklist. Never mind if that was what dates.
Sorry,
We-
just for clarity, is the door hanger what used to be the
Bookmark.
The bookmark, so
Yeah.
that's gonna be changed to a door hanger.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So,
Can we set dates today?
okay, that's what I'm asking.
I'd say let's do it next meeting.
Mhm,
Like, let's think about it and come back with a plan rather than do it on the fly here.
mhm.
Can you guys maybe consult the business owners then as well, if that's the case, so that we can work collectively on dates that work for kind of everybody? Because I do know that when Terry Guile was here last year or the previous year and had discussed BIA functions, especially in Peterborough, bigger cities, on how having events on Saturdays, which are automatically the busiest dates for businesses, is counterintuitive to what the ideas of that are. So maybe you guys can just kind of get some feedback from the business owners themselves, or send out a MailChimp or something on that regard.
Well, yes and no, I would say. I mean, something like Ladies' Night, which has always been a Thursday night, it's fine. But things like a fall festival, you can't have it on a Wednesday. Makes no sense, right?
But can we have it on a Sunday instead of a Saturday?
First impression would be no.
I think the purpose of the fall festival is is not to bring business into the businesses at first glance, it's to bring people into the community. So that they get to know our community and then come back to the businesses repetitively, so.
Like, we tried Ladies' Night on a Sunday, it was a complete flop.
No, I understand that.
Mhm, mhm.
And we're not proposing to move ladies' night to Saturday. So we're really only talking about
Fall festival
two
and-
BIA events, which
And get your school going.
and the car show, which is not our event, but
And Spook On isn't a closed road closure anyway.
No.
sorry, the,
The Spook event is.
no, that's not, and yeah, so, but the car show is,
In the parade, fair parade, in the Santa Claus parade.
Didn't fair parade, didn't go downtown, did it?
Yep.
Did it come through?
Yeah, because we standardized the route.
but it.
It was only like, ow.
Yeah, I mean, they're not huge closures, but just, they are considered a closure. Same with the Santa Claus parade.
Do you think a Santa Claus parade would work on a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday?
Parents will
Asking the
bring,
group.
parents will bring kids out to a parade anytime.
Yeah.
Parade.
I think that matters.
But the parade's not our event.
No, it's a township event, but I think that Lance's point is that maybe the businesses would rather not have a street closure on a Saturday.
Fall festival on a Monday, we do something.
Well, it doesn't. I agree that the fall festival needs to be on a Saturday.
Events on.
Businesses.
Well, there's the car show.
Yeah.
I know, but I think on behalf of our businesses, the
And we haven't spoken to all the business.
We
Yeah.
we can send a survey or something out to businesses to get their feedback and we can take their feedback, but in the end, it's still our decision as a committee to make that with, taking into account feedback from business. Until we get that feedback, we can't really
Didn't you do that
think
last year?
about it.
When you put out a survey last year?
Yeah.
Events
Mhm.
and what people wanted and which ones wanted to drop. And the businesses were very enthusiastic about them. Except for the spring one.
Yeah.
Everyone else, the dates were for people, and the fall festival was on a Saturday that year.
Mhm.
And yeah, that was all fine with the majority of the local businesses. I didn't get negative feedback on that.
I have not heard any negative feedback from any business about a Saturday road closure insofar as the festivals we have right now.
Well, let's survey them before our next meeting and make our decisions then.
Go solicit some feedback.
Just by asking or by doing a survey monkey.
I think I would do it informally right now.
Well, I'm gonna jump ahead 1 second to get your scoot gun. I sent the stuff to Brad. I went yesterday, he didn't have it printed yet, it's probably printed now, I'll probably go today and get it and distribute those. I could probably make up a little survey on paper that I drop off to everyone and then go pick it up later and let me have our answers.
Sure. Cause we just got surveyed on Christmas in the Village too,
Yeah.
right? And then another one's coming out from Christmas as well this week, I hear.
Oh. And that, okay,
I think it's probably,
okay.
get some informal feedback.
Okay. Lost my spot and then
Marketing. anything?
Still in the marketing.
marketing, so,
We go over the website.
is there
No.
anything further
You didn't do that
before
yet.
we jump down?
We need the
Kenny,
proposal
to-
for
To
the,
the proposal for the website?
No. I have to. So, Brittany has put together this proposal, Brittany from Mexicom. And a lot of the work she's willing to do as her give on behalf of Mexicom to the BIA.
It's very happy.
So I'll just read what she has here. So the overview, this proposal outlines the costs and services involved in creating a new website for the Millbrook BIA using Wix as a user-friendly and reliable website platform. The goal is to provide the BIA with a modern, professional online presence while maximizing cost efficiency. So the Wix subscription is what she recommends. And Brittany does a lot of website development on the side as well. Like this is kind of her thing before she started at Mexicom. And that cost is $27 a month for the Wix subscription, which is $320 per year. Website development, site creation. I will design and develop a new website for the Millbrook BIA at no charge. Typically, the service would start at $1,000, but I'm offering it as a complimentary service to support the BIA. Email hosting. If the BIA requires custom email addresses, there will be an additional cost for email hosting, $10 a month, $120 per year. So the total annual cost to us would be $440 per year. So she has your cost savings. By choosing this option, the Millbrook BIA will save over $1,000 in initial web development with ongoing annual fees costs estimated at $440. In conclusion, this proposal offers a cost-effective solution for Millbrook BIA's website needs, providing significant savings while ensuring a high-quality online presence. The combination of a free website, build an affordable annual cost makes this an ideal opportunity to enhance the BIA's digital footprint. If you have any questions, please let me know. And she will, she's also offering to like manage this for us as well as part of her give to the BIA.
Just one point about the email hosting. We already have that with Nexicom and we've it's actually, we just approved another year. It's a check requisition. Yeah,
$121. and
Yeah.
86 cents.
so that's already paid for next year.
Okay.
Want me to go first? I don't see this as something we need. I think we have a website, and if it's a content issue, then Brittany can provide suggestions on how to up the content. Or create better content or create better traffic. As far as having a secondary website, I guess, for lack of better terms. My fear there is this board changes, Brittany changes, and you're gonna lose control of it. Pretty fast, like at least where we have the website today. It's anchored. You know, regardless of who comes and who goes. And then as far as you know, Brittany's proposal of, you know, a high quality website, you know. What is she gonna do to it to make it better than what we have?
That
Right.
would be more a question to have
Right,
Brittany here to answer.
and if she can do that there, why can't she do it on the platform that we have?
Because she doesn't have access.
We can give her access.
Yeah, we can give her access. Yeah. You can set up a
But,
person.
like if it's a content thing, then let's change the content.
I think
Like the hosting is irrelevant.
the other, it's not our website, our webpage.
It is our website.
And
It's our website, it's our webpage, it's our content.
it's difficult to navigate to it. We've had many complaints about that. And it's also a cost savings because right now we're paying approximately $1,200. And this is 440, and that includes the email hosting,
But we don't need the
which we already
pay.
paid, but it would be, what I'm saying is that it's now incorporated for,
But I'd add on that and, you know, the relevance of websites these days.
well, that's another question. I think that it is relevant. I think websites carry more authority than social media. I think we need both. I think we need both. And maybe before we make any decisions on this, we're not talking about making a decision from now to the end of the year. We've got, this would be a proposal for 2025. And so we've got some time on this and bring Brittany back in to speak to it.
So we're paying $1,200 right now for our website.
We don't know because we get,
It's part of the subscription fees at the township, and I think it mostly covers the business directory, because we developed a business directory specifically for the BIA.
Are we
So-
able to see a breakdown of what we're paying for?
Yeah,
There's a big
like I think
difference
honestly,
between $440 and $1,200.
yeah, absolutely. If you guys want to run with your own website,
which
I
is,
think that's
which is
great.
what BIAs do. I think from what I can see, we are the only BIA that has a page on the township website. Other BIAs have their own, and they have links to the appropriate pages on township website.
Yeah, I think if that's the way you want to go, ours is a little bigger platform, just because we have other departments, right?
Right.
So it's a little,
It's
so
hard. complicated because it has to be.
It's actually a little bit more user friendly because of the change in people, right? Because we do anticipate that people may change, like my position may change or somebody else's. So somebody has to be able to go in and be able to update the site fairly seamlessly. So it's kind of created that it's a little bit more user friendly. I have used Wix. It does take a little bit of time, but if Brittany is kind of comfortable with it and is able to manage it, I think Deputy Mayor Huntley's comment that your committee changes all the time, right? So whether you would have somebody who would be able to take that on, I think is
Yeah,
something you have to.
I understand. The issue is that if Brittany no longer is with us, then we're paying somebody that to manage the website, which is possibly what other BIAs do. In all likelihood, the person who maintains the website for the BIA and other BIAs is a paid employee of the BIA. Because again, we don't have any paid staff. So,
But it's no different than anything else. People change and you have to adapt and.
Right.
People
Mhm.
do
I
things,
agree.
so.
Yeah, I think with this one. And initially, when we set up the website, we trained BIA staff and then they immediately changed. So, and you didn't appoint somebody to take over that position, so it kind of fell the staff to try and maintain
right,
your site within the site. So, I mean, we can.
and that's unfair to staff. I think.
Mhm, mhm.
It's not your job to maintain our content. I don't think, or our directory.
And I guess
And
the bottom line for me is that I would like to see the breakdown from the township. Like, tell me exactly what it is we're paying for and why we're paying so much. And then we can set up a meeting in the future and have Brittany come in and talk to this
Yeah.
and why it's beneficial and, go from there. If we're already paid for the. other
Does it
thing for
include
year,
a
this is-
directory? Like, does it include a business? I think if she's building it for free too, that's a big deal.
Like that's.
But I think,
know,
but again, like,
$1,000
it's a
per-
platform, right? Like, it's the content that matters. So you build whatever you want. If you're not maintaining it, you're not updating it,
Right.
it's useless,
that,
right?
it's the cost of maintaining it, that's,
Well, it's not even a cost, it's just, I get somebody to do it. Right, and
well,
we have a business directory today, just nobody's actually in there updating, keeping track. So what's gonna be different tomorrow?
well,
It's not, what we have is not up to date.
Right, because nobody's doing it.
Well, like the picture for Jones, it still says Menzies on it.
Right, but that's. But that's us, on us to maintain. And we're not doing
because none of us has the time or the expertise. So,
it. Sarah does, she's got the extra.
so we have somebody who's offering.
Not the time.
Right, but she's offering it on the premise that we switch platforms. Right, why, if she's offering, then why can't she do it on this one? Right, it's already all there.
Well, I guess. To me,
That's
the
a
big
question
thing
to
is
have her.
the $600 savings every
But
year.
yes, it about $600 a year.
Right, but that's a short-term gain. What happens 2 years from now when this board's entirely different people and Brittany's gone?
Well, how's it-
Then we don't have-
Here's
we-
update.
We have a website that's floating out there in the middle of nowhere.
For free, or we pay somebody.
Like, why pay someone when it's not that hard to train on?
Well, we have $600 to pay somebody. If there's $600 worth of savings. She does it and then it's maintaining it. $600 worth of savings, that we can find somebody to maintain it for us.
Same risks. Nope, you're